folks, Michael Macniak here. I'm the co-creator of the Guardian model and I'm the author of Saving Melissa, the 7 C's for Curing the Mental Health System. I continue this series now discussing a dialogue and a best practice concept for people who are appointed in serving as fiduciary. Very important topic, and I want to jump right back into it. We're discussing the overarching terms least restrictive. We talked about the decision-making process as to whether or not we're even going to appoint or apply for the designation of a fiduciary, and that determination needs to be made on a least restrictive analysis. Today I want to talk about the actions and decisions of a fiduciary, and that when they are taken, they need to be least restrictive means of intervention. Conceptually, folks, we don't want to overkill. We don't want to use a hatchet to swat a mosquito, right? The same thing applies with folks when we're trying to make a decision in their best interest. The decision should always be based on a least restrictive means of intervention analysis. I once represented an old lady who was 95, and she was living in a skilled nursing facility. She had horrible cataracts that almost rendered her completely blind. However, she'd been in this nursing home for 20 plus years and was able to navigate her way around with little difficulty. She knew exactly how many steps it was to the cafeteria. She knew exactly how many steps it was to the couch where she was hanging around with her friends. And she was a cute little old lady who, comes from an era that's different than what we live in now. And she was very reluctant to have the cataract surgery performed. The doctors assured her that it was going to be a painless and quick procedure and that she'd be restored to fantastic eyesight. But she just didn't want to have it done, and she refused. The agency or the facility brought me in as a fiduciary, which begs the question, was that appointment even least restrictive? And the question that they were asking was, should we force the woman to go ahead and have this cataract surgery? Again, she was happy. She didn't want the surgery. She was able to get around on her own. What was the surgery going to offer her that she wasn't already getting? That was the inquiry that went through my mind. What was the benefit going to be? And they were not offering me a significant answer to that question. They were steadfast in their position. I was a little bit on the shelf in mine. So we went back to the court and we laid it out for the court, and the court made a decision and agreed with me that, at this point in her advanced age and her happiness, she didn't need to have cataract surgery to make herself fulfilled. I think that was a happy outcome, and I think it's a good example. I want you to apply this process, this thinking process, to any decision making that you need to do as a fiduciary. Is my decision here the least restrictive means of intervention to get X for an individual or client? In this modern era, we have the ability of accomplishing a lot without having to go through an inordinate process of an inordinate inquiry into least restrictive. Can we get groceries? Can we do our banking? Can we access healthcare? With modern technology, we could do a lot of those things right from the comfort of our bed. We always have to remember that it's important to allow individuals like this older woman to be a part of the decision-making process. The role of a fiduciary is not and never has been a dictatorship. We need to empower individuals to be part of the process and to help them to understand the decisions that we feel we need to make for them in an effort to hopefully allow them to make those decisions for themselves. So anyway, I'm going to stop there, and I thank you again for listening. Check out my other posts on this topic and others. We welcome your feedback and dialogue on this. We want to keep an open dialogue moving on these topics and many others. And I thank you, and we'll see you again soon.